Well, good morning, everyone. Hope you guys are having an absolutely fabulous morning. Today, we're going to talk about faith. Yeah, a subject that a lot of people seem to have a really hard time with. So, what I do ask from you guys as you're joining into the room and we're talking about faith, just be polite to each other and don't say anything mean to the other people that are, hopping on, okay? Make sure that you say hi and please participate in the chat. This is for you guys, community is so important, especially when it comes to spiritual matters in these times that we're going through right now. So make sure that you're saying hi to everybody. And if you are a little bit of a chatty Cathy, make sure that you're greeting people and, saying something to people. Okay. So, hi, how are you? Thanks for joining and thanks for saying hi. Okay, so let's just dive in. Okay, so we're going to talk about faith. I mean, what is faith anyway, you guys? I mean, seriously, like, who needs faith? I mean, really? I'm being sarcastic, obviously, because faith is a really important element in this world. And I think that a lot of times it's the hardest thing for us to have. So let's just kind of define it a little bit and really kind of get a really good grasp about what it is that I'm wanting to talk about with you guys today. So as the people are coming in and saying hi everybody, nice to see you. Thank you. I love you all. Just saying hi and how much I love you guys. And thank you guys for so much support. Y'all have been so awesome. And, I really appreciate, the kind words and the loving people that are part of my page. It's so important to me that I actually see goodness in the world. It's like I'm out there like really trying to like shed my light. And, when you guys comment on some of the posts that I have and or even on my videos and stuff, it just kind of gives me hope. So, so we're going to be talking about faith and belief and hope and all those good things and why it's so important. And obviously I was being kind of sarcastic, saying, "Why do we need faith?" Like seriously. Well, let's define it for a second. You're so sweet, Shannon. Oh my God, Shannon, I love you so much. I love all of you guys so much. So let's talk about faith. What is faith? Okay, so remember, you guys, keep it nice. Don't be ugly to each other. If somebody has a religious belief, allow them to have it. Everybody has a right to have their own beliefs and feelings, okay? So, years ago, long time ago, before all this your spiritual stuff became super important and we started becoming more enlightened, you know, the primary thing that seemed to be big was religion. And with religion, the word faith came up a lot. It's my faith, it's my belief, I have faith. But, for a long time when I was listening to this, because I grew up in a church, I was like, what is faith? Because that's not making any sense to me. You're over here not believing and having faith that God is going to help you through this challenge, yet you're saying, I have faith. And and I really, I struggled with that, when I was involved in religion years ago. It was challenging for me to understand what exactly they were saying. And I think that if you just this is not a religious conversation. I'm just using this as an example because it applies to how we view faith in other things. So sometimes I like to use references so nobody attack me, okay? So as far as, what I was thinking when I was younger, turn this thing off. It was so cold in my office this morning. I was like, oh my God, it's like chill in here. So I had to kind of warm it up a little bit. All right. So, faith. Okay. So as we are talking about faith and understanding what exactly it is, kind of going back to the good old days when religion and, playing the piano and singing Just As I Am and, falling onto the altar and praying and crying for our sins to be forgiven. We we misinterpret the understanding of faith. Um, so let's go back to a basic scripture that's in the Bible, and I'm going to kind of ad lib it a little bit here, but it's with the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. Okay, so let's just talk about what that means. Faith, in reference to what was said in this ancient text, was referring to kind of like the law of attraction. Okay, it's saying if you can just muster up enough enough, you can move a mountain. And it's not literal, you guys. What is your mountain? That's the big question. My mountain is, you know to was to well, I had several mountains, but one of the biggest mountains I had to climb was to build a business. And a new mountain that I'm working on is to get my book published and to, have a more national impact on people. And it's an interesting thing because that's my mountain. Okay, so the big question is, what is your mountain? Your mountain could be finishing your education. It could be resolving a relationship with somebody. It could be getting over issues that you have. And a lot of times with us, it's our lack of faith in ourself and any kind of outside um, spiritual influences that we may choose to believe in. So, kind of getting off of the Bible for a second, and let's just talk about what other type of spiritual influences that you could have that could help you through the process. Now, I was actually talking to a friend of mine who's a Wiccan priest, and we were talking about the Sephora. Sephirah. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Oh my God. My teacher's going to be so mad at me. Sephirah. Okay. It's the tree of life. And, um, and we were talking, so me and my friend were talking about that. And we were talking about the path up the tree of life, the evolution of the soul. And he was telling me that, like, once you get to a certain point, you can't pass it on your own. You have to have help. And you have to have help from your blessed angel or your blessed guardian angel or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly how he terminology it, how what kind of terminology he used, but it was like your blessed guardian. And some people call that your higher self. Some people, actually believe it's an angel. But the thing is regardless of what your beliefs are, the point that he was trying to make is it's impossible to do by yourself. And so, where does faith come from? Faith comes from believing in a higher power outside of yourself that's going to help you through something. It's going to help you overcome your mountain. It's going to help you move through the tree of life. It's going to help you move through all of your challenges, all your hurdles, all your problems. So, I always had a problem with the word hope. And the reason I have a problem with the word hope is because hope seems so non-stable. It's sort of wishful thinking that may not come true. However, when you think about the word faith and you start thinking about that, you know, the interesting thing about that is it's so much stronger. It's like I have faith that if I believe in something strong enough, if I desire something strong enough, if my will is matched with my desire, which is matched with my higher self's purpose, all the tools are going to be provided for us in some way. And it's so interesting, how all this works. So let's just talk about like kind of getting on that path, getting on the path of purpose. So each person has their own path of purpose. It's their soul's evolution. It's what they're supposed to be doing in this lifetime, the process that they're supposed to be going through. In each person, it's slightly different. Now, some people are going to be taking the path of mercy and serenity and light, while others may be taking the path of trying to remember the word that was used. It's like kind of like the hard school knocks, you know, kind of thing. It's like you got to kind of like work through your shadow selves and kind of go through that path and working through those problems and facing them head on, like facing all your demons and conquering them. So being a warrior and seeing this problem and conquering this problem. So when a person has chosen the path of um, their shadow self and going more like the darker path and facing those enemies and facing those challenges, what ends up happening is sometimes they they get discouraged because they're not aware of what they're actually doing. And so instead of going in there with a sword and being a warrior and fighting through these things and overcoming their own personal obstacles, what ends up happening is they go into despair. And they're hoping, and it just sounds so weak. Yet, when the reality here is that we need to have that strength. If you're choosing that path, then that's the path of strength. Now, personally, I've chosen the path, the middle path, which I studied Taoism for years, and to me, it feels like the middle path is the right path. That means that I sort of like stand in the middle and sort of like hold the light and hold the darkness and kind of try to find that balance in between. That's the people that are working through their shadow self and dealing with the despair and the pain, and versus the people that are really trying to travel the path of light, mercy, kindness, and honestly, each person's challenge is still a challenge. And there's really no right or wrong. It's just the repercussions that come with that particular thing. Even the path of light is very difficult because a lot of times you experience a lot of judgment. There's so many issues that come along with any path that you choose. So a lot of times people tend to choose the path of darkness because it's easier. But I'm here to tell you that you can literally like walk with faith and you don't really have to hold on to all those things. You know, all you have to do is believe in yourself and believe that there's a higher power that's out there, regardless of how you want to believe it. God, Jehovah, Allah, Yahweh. Actually, I pronounced it wrong. I just pronounced it the way that you guys know it. But it's actually Yod He Vav He. But it's kind of hard to say it really fast. So Yod He Vav He. Yod He Vav He Elohim. Anyway, it's a little harder to pronounce, but whatever it is that you choose, how you choose to go along with it. Like I personally, I like spiritual stuff. Like I like magic. I like all the weird stuff, you know. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. I like all different kinds of paths to bring me into an experience that that gives me something that I want. So let's go back to this thing. What did he say? With the faith of a mustard seed, you can move a mountain. A lot of times, like, you look at your mountain, okay? Everybody's mountain could be different, It could just be resolving conflicts and relationships. Maybe that's your mountain right now. But a lot of times we just don't have faith in ourselves. We don't have any faith. It's just like we've shut down and our spirit's gone dead and it's not even alive anymore. I mean, maybe it just traveled away from your body and you're just sort of like a zombie moving around through this world, just doing whatever just to get through, just to get by, but that's not living. So when I put my faith into something and I'm working on something and I decide that I want something and I want it for good reasons, not because I'm trying to be, you know, materialistic or egotistic. any of those things, it's because I want to put out some greater goodness into the world, okay? I want to touch a bigger market. I want to be able to do these things. And what happens is when I do it with the right intention and it matches up with my desire and my soul path, when that happens, what ends up happening is that something magical happens. I'd say, I really need this. I really need somebody to help me with that. I really need blah, blah, blah. So I ended up meeting this guy. He ends up being one of my clients. And he was, one of the things that he said to me was, oh my God, Michelle, I went through all your content, your SoundCloud, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Instagram. And he goes, oh my God, you're giving away so much content. I mean, you put so much value. I mean, oh my God. He goes, it's a wonder you're not famous. And I started laughing and I said, well, it's not with the lack of trying. And he goes, I'm going to make you famous. And I go, okay, whatever. So we're working together and I'm helping him with some of his own personal challenges. And we're into it about a month and a half. And his confidence is really strong now and he's really feeling good. And he's just says to me, he goes, I just feel like for what I'm paying, I feel like what you've given me and what you've given me back to my life, I just feel like the value of it is way more than what I'm paying. So he says, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to teach you this format and I'm going to go through it and you've got to like listen to me because I'm the professional in this area and da 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 and just let me be in charge of this. And he goes, I'm going to make you big. And and he's using some type of format I've never really heard before, and it's totally different. And I just kind of laughed about it because he kept on re-emphasizing that I needed to let him lead this, you know, this train here. And I said, look, let me explain something to you. I follow instructions really well, especially if it's something that I want. And, I feel like that the reason that was handed to me, I feel like the universe gave it to me, honestly, because what happened is this is what's so bizarre, okay? And just think about this just for a second. He lives in Washington, okay? And he Googles a life coach and I was number one on the search engine. Now, we actually did it again yesterday, and I didn't even come up in Washington on the first page. Now, I live in Houston, Texas. How that happened? He said it was divine. It happened because it was supposed to happen. Well, I believe that. I believe that. And that's the thing. And that's how divinity can step in. That's how, when you have faith in something and you believe and your intention is for the right reason, and there's no hope in that. It's all about that faith. I believe that, for me, I serve the divine. That is my mission. I am an absolute, I don't really care what other people think about, like, oh, blah, blah, this and that, and they start getting all this weird stuff, and, you know, and Yahweh is an alien and all this other stuff. I mean, personally, I listened to it for a while and I researched it, and I'm sorry, but it's not it doesn't I'm studying Hebrew, I'm reading old scriptures, it's just not my thing, and whatever somebody wants to believe, that's fine, but in the process of what I'm talking, if it's not something you agree on, please don't criticize, okay? So, but it's just, to me, it's not my thing. So for me, I've made a commitment to be a servant of the divine, which is what some people call God, because I do believe in, like the tree of life and all the divine names and everything. I do believe that different aspects of God exist. So, and those aspects are connected to, part of that aspect is connected to my higher self, and my higher self is connected to these aspects, and those aspects are connected to higher realms and so forth, so forth. But I think they kind of, as long as I'm on path, all that trickles down into my higher self, and then my higher self delivers the message. Okay? Now, how does that happen? Well, so what you have to do is you kind of have to get on path. And getting on path is about actually listening to your spirit, talking to it's the one that's aching inside of you, saying, I really want to do this, I really feel like I should do this. I was talking to somebody the other day, and and I said, look, I have trained a lot of people to be my life coaches and hypnotherapists and all kinds of stuff. And I said it's very few that actually do something with it. Sometimes they do it just because they think it's going to help them be a better person, and that's okay. And sometimes they do it because they want to create a hobby, or sometimes they do it thinking they're going to do something with it, but they don't have enough faith in themselves. But this girl, yeah, she's really like gun ho, I mean, really gun ho. So I put a lot of energy into her. And, um, and I still do. I still am helping her in every way that I can for her to find her path. But a lot of times, what I told her the other day when we were having a discussion is many are called, but few are chosen. And that's a saying that gets said a lot. Many are called, few are chosen. Well, what makes a person a chosen person is a person that actually links up to the purpose, their soul, their desires, all of that stuff is all in alignment. That means instead of fighting with your subconscious mind about not being good enough, you work through some of those shadow selves and you realize you are good enough, and you forgive yourself for the mistakes that you've made, and you realize that that's just part of learning and growing, and you value those mistakes and you value those learning lessons so that you can be the person that you were designed to be, and you can grow through those lessons. And think of it as that mountain that you climbed, you know think of it as your path. Now, getting on path is when you actually listen to what your heart's saying. Your heart's saying, hey, I want to do this. Hey, da da da. But then you're like, don't have enough strength inside of you. You don't have enough confidence inside of you. And, following a divine purpose doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a life coach or a healer or something. It could be a florist, or it could be working with children, or it could be, you know, painting or flipping houses. you know. I mean, all of us have to have a purpose. If everybody did the same thing and everybody was healers and coaches, then I wouldn't have any clients, you know? And so we have purpose for everything. I mean, we have to have builders, we have to have painters, we have to have people that make furniture, people that make pretty little pillows, and we have to have people that put the makeup on, or teach us how to be beautiful, or teach us how to be natural, or, show us how to take care of our skin, or, design jewelry or whatever, to help us have a more fulfilled life, you know there's got to be those swim coaches, and there's got to be those animal activists and all those things. So a divine purpose doesn't necessarily mean you have to do something like, whoa, like, I have to do this. You just need to listen to what this is saying. Okay, what is your heart of hearts saying? And then you just have to believe that if you follow that, something really divine will happen. And that's why it's so important to have faith in your purpose, in your life, you know? So I'm going to take a minute to kind of reflect on some of the comments, because I haven't done that yet. And I apologize, you guys, for not, but, I was trying to kind of get through this before I started, without a lot of interruptions. So here we go. Let's look at what we got here. Um, okay. Oh, the mic. Oh, Shannon, you're hilarious. The mic is kind of big. It is. Oh, it was given to me, by the way. Somebody just gave it to me. Wasn't that nice? Divine always takes care of me. Um, okay. Let's see here. I love what you said, Claudette. Thank you very much. And Jim, wow, I haven't talked to you in a long time. Okay, so he says, great point. We talk ourselves out of being called out of fear, the unknown. We must learn to tell the negative community in our head to sit down and shut up. Wow, what a great thing to say. That is awesome. I really love that. I really love it. That I love that. I have to. I'm actually might even post that, Jim. I mean, that's really good. That's really, really good. I love it. Um, Ashley, hi. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, I need to also start posting in my women's group. Haven't done that in a while. You guys, I have been so busy, so busy. I have so much on my plate. It's never ending for me. So, and then with this new guy that's going to be, kind of helping me with a few things, he's kind of given me some assignments because we're going to have a webinar. We're going to do a free webinar where we're going to be kind of, doing some promotional stuff. So, anyway, yeah, so I've got to have some products to sell and I keep on redoing it. So I'm a perfectionist, and so what ends up happening is you know, I redo it, I redo it, I redo it, I redo it, I redo it. But so I created this SoundCloud account and I've been uploading all of my audios that I record. And so as I get them edited and everything, I put it on SoundCloud. And I have had so many people tell me how much they love it and how they think it's so amazing. So I was thinking of putting some stuff together that was very specific in telling you like, do this, do this, do this, listen to this for a week, listen to this for a week. So basically kind of going through 4 weeks of releasing issues that you have with interpersonal issues like self-sabotage, fear, and self-worth. And so what I was thinking of doing is having 4 weeks of that and then 4 weeks of input where you're working on confidence and motivation and just doing it strictly hypnosis audios. And then I was going to do 4 weeks of manifesting and faith based things where you're kind of focused in on creating the best version of you by using tools from energy and all kinds of stuff. Um, yeah, yeah, it's just an audio that you'd listen to every day. I'm in the process of putting it together. So I've had to create these modules. Um, some of the stuff is already recorded, but the modules and editing in them, you have no idea. Like 30 minutes of an audio for me to do. I record it, but then I have to go back and edit. So editing can be an hour and a half for every 30-minute. Like I did some, there were the one module that was just a short little blip and it was about 10 minutes and it took me about 30 minutes. So it's usually about 3 times the amount of time because I have to stop, start to get through the whole thing. So delete, clear, get out the clicks, get out the and and all that kind of stuff, that goes along with it. So, and then apply music to it and compress it and then upload it. It's so for every audio that I create, it's usually about a 3-hour process. So, we're looking at 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 modules. So, yeah. So, as soon as I get it done, I'm going to try to. My goal is to have this accomplished within the next 30 days because we're going to be doing our webinar in about 30 days. So, anyways, yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's going to be fun. So, I basically I am just pretty much finished talking about what I wanted to discuss with you guys today. And I'm going to upload, I'm doing some editing on an old video that I did. I'm going to be kind of cutting out some of the chatter in the chat room. Like where I'm doing like what I'm doing right now, where I'm talking to you guys and going, oh yeah, hey Shannon, blah, blah, blah. Um, it's a video I did a while back on karma and it's really good. And I was re-listening to this and I was like, wow, this is really good. So I decided what I'm going to do is just kind of um, nix out some of the stuff that's not important. So, anyways, I will be uploading that as soon as I finish doing the editing on that. So it's going to be a video on karma. So make sure you watch it. It'll be good. Hopefully, it won't take too long to get through it because as of now, without any editing, it's it's about an hour. So I think with cutting out some of the chatter, it'll probably knock down to about 30 minutes. Um, anyway, so I love you guys. You are so amazing. Remember to have faith and remember what faith is and understand that it really is about believing in something that is higher than you. And that could just be your higher self, or it could be your divine angel, or it could be your God, or it could be several gods, or it could be your path to enlightenment. But understand that, again, like I was saying before, um, I mean, you can't do it by yourself. It's too hard. Ask for help, and they'll step in and throw you a few, bones here and there, God bless. Stay well. Always remember karma never loses an address. All right. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, you guys, y'all have a fabulous day. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're just stepping on, please watch it from the beginning. Remember, you guys, always be the light, not the candle. Have a wonderful day.